The concept I have chosen to talk about is Orientalism. Orientalism refers to the prejudiced interpretation of Asia and the Middle East from a Western perspective. In his 1978 book titled Orientalism, Edward Said likened the concept to a lens that distorts the actual reality of the people and places of the East. Orientalism refers to a way of seeing. However, what we see through this imaginary lens is but a created identity of the East from the Western viewpoint. That is, from the view of Europe and the United States. Said thus argues that Orientalism constructs a false reality of the Eastern Oriental body. The identity that we give to those of the Orient is consequently inaccurate and misleading. So why do we have these preconceived ideas of people that we have never met or cultures that we have never experienced? According to Said, Orientalism developed shortly after European powers came into contact with the lesser developed people of the East. They recognized these alternative Eastern cultures as incredibly foreign, bizarre, and somewhat exotic. Western cultures were thus unable to comprehend the alternative culture, as it was so different to their own. Instead, they attempted to judge and define it without having any real understanding of what they were talking about. The West consequently began representing and speaking on behalf of the East, simultaneously creating identities and stereotypes of this newfound Orient. This placed the people of the West into a position of power. They were able to authorize and control views of the East by creating a dominant ideology of the Orient. So essentially, the West misrepresented the East as a means of presenting them as inferior and incredibly different. It assigned the Orient distinctive stereotypical features and characteristics, so rather than recognizing the individual countries and accompanying cultures, it placed them under an umbrella of uniform identity. These stereotypes have remained in place over time, repeated through various sources such as texts and the media. They have consequently become a normalized and unquestionable way of viewing the East. Examples of this can be seen in Disney's 1992 film Aladdin. The film, set in the land of Arabia, follows the street-smart thief Aladdin in his quest to pursue the beautiful Princess Jasmine. However, it also displays a patronizing portrayal of Middle Eastern people and culture. The supposedly evil characters in the film carry a stereotypical Eastern appearance with darker skin, large noses, beards, and headdresses. Audiences are consequently encouraged to associate these characteristics with the evil and barbaric qualities of the characters that embody them. These biased perceptions thus hinder a true visual understanding of the Middle East and its inhabitants. Said argued that Orientalism operates within a binary mindset. The East is no longer a free subject of thought or action. Rather, it is utilized to define the West. The Orient is essentially pitted against the West in order to highlight the West's cultural superiority. This division between the two causes the Orient to become a sort of alternative, inferior other. For example, the East is often viewed as extremely exotic, uncultured, and dangerous. This highlights the supposedly modern, educated, and democratic qualities embodied by the West. In Aladdin, the land of Arabia is referred to as barbaric from the opening theme song. Further lyrics refer to the cutting off of ears, demonizing Aladdin's home and encouraging audiences to recognize it as an uncivilized and brutal place. Throughout the movie, Aladdin encounters various situations violent in nature. For example, he is chased down alleyways by characters waving swords. Their behaviour reflects the environment in which they live, one that accommodates uncivilized, irrational people who aren't hesitant to attack one another. The Oriental environment of Arabia thus becomes synonymous with barbarism and danger, and its people irrational and wild in nature. The audience is positioned to view the East as inferior to the West through highlighting its cultural differences and downfalls from a Western viewpoint. Films such as Aladdin depict these people and their accompanying cultures and environments in a particular way. Over time, we learn to associate these visuals with reality, assuming them to be a correct representation. We do not question the portrayal, but rather submissively agree with it. In summary, the Orient is essentially an idea, backed up by history, imagery, and vocabulary that have given it a reality and a presence. Therefore, Orientalism is the consequential viewing of this created Orient, and the ensuing stereotypes and expectations laid upon the people and cultures associated with it.